Hello everybody, welcome to Contrarian Row. I am the Contrarian 357. Now during the campaign I was a Trump supporter, a cautious Trump supporter. I was just looking out for the signs that he was like the Illuminati or New World Order or some establishment Republican. I didn't see that. But like many Americans, I found Donald Trump to be a breath of fresh air. Unlike Obama supporters, though, I never worshipped the man, leaving me room to criticize Trump when needed. Now, if you're an America First conservative, you understand that there will be days like this. Frankly, because Donald Trump is not exactly a conservative now, is he? Now, this airstrike in Syria caught people like me off guard, because ostensibly he was betraying his campaign stance of America First. As horrific as that chemical attack was in Syria, my question is, how is this a threat to the United States?
Every decision on trade,
the simple answer is that this poses absolutely no threat to us. So the next question is, why did Donald Trump order this strike?
Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad launched a horrible chemical weapons attack on innocent civilians. Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched.
Is it to put North Korea on notice? Is it to prove that he's not in bed with Russia? Or is it because he's surrounded himself with Council of Foreign Relations members, with globalists, with warhawk neocons who are advising him now?
McMaster. One of my major concerns when it comes to Trump's foreign policy is that we really don't know a whole lot about his thinking. He did mention some things during the campaign. Sometimes he kind of contradicted himself. Now we have him coming to the White House in a very dangerous world. What, on your mind, should he be thinking about most right now?
Well, what I'm concerned about, and where I'll get some better information, will be when we find out who he appoints to the cabinet and who he's talking to. And already we have some hints. Unfortunately, there's been several neoconservatives that are getting closer to Trump, and if he gets their advice from him, then I don't think that's a good sign.
Michael Flynn, a non-CFR member, was forced out as National Security Advisor and was replaced by H.R. McMaster, a confirmed CFR member. Defense Secretary James Mattis is an anti-Russia warhawk neocon. Jared Kushner, a Trump aide who happens to be Trump's son-in-law and happens to be a big government leftist, now has the president's ear, as opposed to nationalist, anti-globalist Steve Bannon, who may be on his way out. By the way, during the campaign, Trump spoke out against Hillary Clinton's connections to Goldman Sachs, but lo and behold, Trump's economic advisor, Gary Cohen, is a former Goldman Sachs executive and a globalist. So, why is Donald Trump surrounding himself with these type of individuals? Well, remember when Donald Trump was considering Mitt Romney for Secretary of State? Trump supporters were flabbergasted. Why Mitt Romney? He was a never-Trumper. Well, some suggested that Trump was trolling Romney, trying to figure out what he knows. Perhaps this is the same scenario. I hope this is the same scenario. You would think that someone with Trump's gravitas would get the people surrounding him to do his bidding. But with the Obamacare overhaul being a failure, seeing that it was more like Obamacare 2.0, and the airstrikes in Syria, it seems like Donald Trump is doing the bidding of globalist Republicans and leftist wackos. Donald Trump is surrounded, y'all. Trump's biggest allies are Michael Flynn, Kellyanne Conway, and Steve Bannon. Flynn is gone, and Bannon, as I said earlier, may be on his way out. Secretary of State Tillerson said that Assad's role as president of Syria is now up in the air.
It would seem that there would be no role for him to go.
If you want America first, you better hope that Trump does not get into the habit of nation building. Waging a war in Syria and toppling Assad would create a bigger refugee crisis, perhaps allowing Democrats to flood America with migrants who still cannot be properly vetted. It will give these same Democrats a new underclass of people to give food stamps to, thus buying votes in future elections.
Look, we're facing the worst refugee crisis since the end of World War II, and I think the United States has to do more, and I would like to see us move from what is a good start with 10,000 to 65,000 and begin immediately to put into place the mechanisms for vetting.
It will give the neocons the wars they so desperately want. Hey, Trump, question. What motivation does Assad have for gassing his own people? Syria was getting closer and closer to becoming a peaceful state. ISIS and Al-Qaeda were on the run, and the United States was breaking away from regime change.
In a major reversal in America's policy on the Syrian civil war, today, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson signaled that the U.S. will no longer insist on the removal of Syria's dictator, Bashar al-Assad.
Plus, he had no chemical weapons. So you mean to tell me that Assad would gas his own people just to feel the wrath of the United States and the world? Makes no sense. Now, we can't expect a utopia on earth here. I mean, we can't expect Donald Trump to make absolutely no mistakes at all. Donald Trump has actually done some good things domestically. I just hope it's not all a smokescreen for any of his future nefarious actions. I hope he hasn't turned heel. This is the Contrarian 357 signing off from Contrarian Row. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good night. And P.S. Mr. Donald Trump, we're watching you. Have a good night.